Hello everyone. Tonight we're just gonna do a little bit of easy stuff. No connected dots, just a fishing video and a just kind of a on-topic type of video. Nothing too serious. So what I'm gonna do is go over a video. It's just a mashup of fishing places and fishing a fish, I guess. Really, it's pretty simple. You can always come on and ask questions or talk about your own stuff. Share your own videos if you want. This one is just in Nebraska, places where I've fished. I fished more than what I show in the video and caught more in the video, but this is just what I want to show, just because the other stuff really, Okay. So let's get going on this. Got a lot of stuff working on the computer, so if you see me looking over and doing things like that, that's just me checking up on things. Okay, so easiest way, I guess, is to go ahead and show parts of the video, and as it's going through, I may stop and kind of talk about it a little bit. Oh, and you can't see me. That's right. If I do this, there I am. That works. Okay, you can still see me. Aha. Sorry, I also had to configure a couple of things. All right, here we go. This is in Grove Creek, Royal, Nebraska. It's very, very awesome. So people who don't know, there's oh shoot, am I showing the correct one? I think so. Why am I starting at this point? That is very weird. Yeah. Huh. Okay, well, got one. Decent size. So, sorry I'm doing this. People who don't know, Royal, Nebraska. Is where the trout rearing station is, and it's where Grove Creek is. So right here off of I-20, Grove Trout Station Fish Hatchery. There's also a Grove Lake WMA, so people who like to hunt, it's also good. And get rid of these layers. So around here, see this bridge on 864th Road? Let me zoom in a bit. Oh crap. Oh man, I'm sorry. I got like I don't want to sneeze. So on 864th Road right here off of 521st or 520th, I mean, a great place to do is just check out that Grove Trout Station Fish Hatchery. That's where a lot of the fish that a lot of Nebraskans catch trout and that are stocked. That's where they rear them from, and it's a spring-fed creek, so very, very clean water, until of course all the animals and stuff pee and poop in it. But it's great, so you could check that out. And here, this is where I kind of fished from for a little while. I think it works best in the summer, midsummer to late summer. And I fish from the bridge, but you can just go ahead and wade in there. It's not very deep, and there are some deep pockets. And what I end up doing, I mean, you could go off on trails and find your way back into. It's kind of hard. I've tried that. You can also get on 520th Ave and trying to go that way. What I typically do is I go on this road, 519th Avenue, and kind of take a right over there. And there's this camping area, which is great. I'd love to camp there one day. I didn't find any ticks on me, and if you go somewhere else, Pine Creek, I think it is, it's another hour away from where I'm at, but I think it's probably an hour from here. and there are ticks everywhere. So this one you don't have to worry about ticks. And I also fished here where the creek meets the Grove Lake. I've never actually fished in Grove Lake because I just really care about the trout. That's all I'm going for. But I'm pretty sure there's some big trout that end up going into the lake and just kind of living off of there and not really staying here at the end of the stream where the stream enters the lake. Okay, so right here I am just catching fish off of that bridge. Okay. Come here, Walden. Oh, that one's fun. Now on this one I am using 6-pound test. I think I might be using 8-pound test in this one. So yeah, I'm not really afraid of the trout breaking the line, but if I was really worried I would just climb down, which doesn't take too much. Good size one for here. Alright, let's see if I can get it out here. Alright. That's another good sized one. Guess I have the fish. Now, just so you know, I a lot of times I don't go fishing on my own. I would love to, but I usually take my son, daughter, or family, and so I'm having to keep an eye out while I'm fishing. It's just useful to just have a harness on and just turn it on when I'm fishing, so you won't see me turn it on until I've caught a fish most of the time. When I am fishing solo, I think I'm going to spend a little bit more time and set up multiple cameras, not just a camera on the harness on my chest, but an extra camera just kind of facing me a little bit and facing the water, just so you can get like a more of a third-person view. Anyways, I'm sorry to interrupt. Tangle my line. A couple of cows as I'm driving out of there. It's a nice place. If anyone has lives in Nebraska or maybe even Iowa, it's not that bad of a drive there, or South Dakota, but basically Nebraskans definitely take a trip out there. What I used was I just either use a size 4 hook and put a night crawler on there. Just let it drift. You don't have to put any additional weights. I put a night crawler, a Canadian night crawler, so it's a big night crawler, and just let it drift. And sometimes it'll go too far, so you'll recast. What I do, however, is just do a typical drop shot. So I have whatever type of weight. I think ½ ounce is definitely good, so it won't really the current can't push it. And I do the same thing. I use maybe a foot or 2 foot leader, and I just drop it in, let the current kind of take the it's gonna push the weight a little bit. I use a bullet weight, and if there are trout around there, and usually if there's bushes and they kind of go over the water a little bit from the land, and then trout just love hiding under there, and I just set it down there, eventually the trout will go for it, and it's pretty easy. If you don't have a fast current, then I don't even use the drop shot. I just let the worm go, and they'll just see it naturally floating, and they'll go after it. And that's just an easy way if not you're not using fly fishing or a tenkara rod. And this one is the Grove Trout Rearing Station where I'm there. This is my daughter's first time there. I've taken my son 2 times, but he's 1, so he doesn't really remember it. And also my wife was there for the first time on the 25th, so you get to see that.
I wish we could feed them.
You can. Is there a lot?
Yeah. If we want to catch a fish, we can catch one of those small fish.
Yeah. Well, they're not good eating. They're still too young.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them, huh?
Yeah. Nothing will eat those fish. Because if they're in numbers, they won't get eaten.
Look, we can feed them. You want to get some quarters?
Yeah.
Don't touch them. All right, here you go.
Couple of you guys.
So far away.
Only one of you will get over here.
Do a handful, Leela.
Why?
It's gonna take us forever.
Whoa, that's a lot. All right, let's go. We can feed some more in the. Uh-oh.
Can we go and have feed more fish?
Yeah.
Where are those other like ones?
There's a whole lot of them here. All right, should we go feed the fish?
They're just feeding and then we can go after some go.
Yeah, here you go.
They're a little scary. I'll bet these fish are like these.
Oh, come on over here.
Is that fun, Leela? Let's go feed the bigger fish. Walden. Roland, what are you doing? Hmm?
He got you.
They're getting pretty big, aren't they? Here, you want to feed them? Walden's like surprised.
Can you feed him?
Yeah.
Those fish are getting wet.
All right, let's go feed the big ones. That one's a huge one.
There's the bull.
Mm-hmm. That one's big. That one's got to be 3-pounder right there.
What does that mean?
That means it's a big trout, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, Leela. So, go and visit Royal, Nebraska, and check out the Grove Trout Rearing Station. It's free, and if it's a nice day, pardon me. If it's a nice day, it's worth it. Take family, kids if you have it, and bring a couple of quarters, because although it's free to get in, all that the stuff that you can feed the fish, feed the trout with, they cost 25 cents, and you don't get a lot. So you know, I got quite a bit, and it is just fun watching them. It is fun feeding them. It's just relaxing. You don't even have to go fishing afterwards. And so in this next video snippet, I'm just fishing at Grove Creek, where it's kind of going into Grove Lake. So you'll see Grove Lake kind of further down in the background in some parts of it. All I'm using is a size 4 hook, putting it on a Canadian night crawler. It doesn't have to be Canadian night crawler, and just casting it in, and just let the current just kind of move the night crawler. Anyways, a little bit before, just a great place to fish. The water is very clear. Of course, you'll see a lot of green surface vegetation on the lake itself. But I mean, it's a slow current at that point, and you get a slow drift. The water's clear. You could see the fish. Not all the way over. I mean, on bright day you can. And if you like hunting, I've seen deer there. I've seen turkey there. So it's you can usually hear the turkey as well. So it's a pretty awesome place to be. So where am I going next? See, look at that. Just that right there is the lake, and this is pretty much the end of the stream. All right, so up next, I think it's just Pawnee Park. Oh no, wait. Actually, so next is Lookingglass Creek, WMA. It's the northernmost pond in Monroe, Nebraska, and let's see. So Monroe is just west of Columbus, and if you're on 22, State Highway 22, you just take a left turn on 370th Ave, and you're right here, Lookingglass Creek Wildlife Management Area. A lot on this area. You can't hunt there, unfortunately, but there's a lot of geese and ducks and like that. Around here, there's just a lot of vegetation on the outer edges. On the inner edges, just kind of a lot of tall grass. Just mind you, there's a lot of stickly bushes. And I guess I could show you the scenery. That might be better when I'm explaining this stuff, huh? Yeah, so a lot of stickly stuff. A lot of trails were there already. I didn't really, unfortunately, I didn't see any deer or turkey or any other birds. Did a lot of walking that day. At the end of it, I was like, all right, I give up. But this little pond looked pretty interesting. I got out of here and walked. I guess I could have fished over on this side, so all I did was fish a little bit on this little area. I just wanted to see what was in there. I know it's not stocked for trout or anything cool like that, so I knew I was going to catch like largemouths and stuff like that. Got you on the top of your head, are you serious? Oh. What do I got here? Wow. 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 But whoa, buddy. Whoa, buddy. Whoa. Woo. You are ginormous. Now, big. It's not like huge or anything, but for a small pond like that, I was just surprised at how big these largemouths were. Guy or gal. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Woo. That is a big beauty. Look at that chunky. All right, buddy. Down to the depths you go. Pretty cool. I didn't even see that. I wonder what kind of snake that is. Now I did see a snake swimming in the water and also a couple frogs. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Whoa. That bit it hard. Wow. Ooh. Wow. Another one. There's some big chunks in here. Oh man. Okay. Oh, you're gonna cut me. Alright. Jeez. That one's in deep. You really attacked it. I knew I saw some big ones jumping. Okay. Sorry. Wow. Wow. Not bad. Alright. Grow up big, buddy. So that was fun. I don't normally fish for largemouth. I just wanted to find out what was in that pond, and and some pretty decent sized largemouth. I was just using a crankbait that looked like a yellow perch, and that was just catching largemouths like crazy. And it's pretty fun because they put up a fight, and I think. I only had 6-pound test, maybe. Yeah, 6-pound test. I might have had 8-pound. I don't remember, 6 or 8 pounds. But that was it. I was just using that crankbait, and that was working wonders. Okay, this one is Pawnee Park West. It was the day that they stocked it. My daughter, sometimes she just wants fish for dinner, so I go out fishing, and rather than having to drive an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, I went to check and see if they stocked it already. I did meet a fella, and he was saying they stocked it an hour before I got there, and no one had caught anything yet. And I was actually the first to catch anything, and I'm pretty sure I was the first to catch their limit at Pawnee Park West that day. I don't need to brag. Little one. Ooh, that's a good size one. Oh wow. What are you, measly little bluegill? You're actually a pretty decent sized one, huh? Good thing I'm only eating trout today. Alright. Okay, so on that day it was pretty easy catching them. It all I was using was a Carolina rig, so I use a half-ounce bullet. You can probably use a quarter. You don't really have to. You don't have to cast out very far. And I just use night crawlers, Canadian night crawlers, and on a 2 to 3 foot leader and size 4 hook, and I just kind of float the worm so it floats up. Otherwise, you're going to catch a lot of the perch that's out there. And also, there's also some pretty sizable catfish, and I haven't caught a lot lately, but there are some good. Gosh, what are they? Crappie. There's a lot of crappie there too, at least during the summertime. What works too is, and I was trying it on this day, on the 26th, is if I fish that way, I just know I'm gonna catch trout. Just floating worm, floating power bait dough. All I do is just kind of roll it up and just make a little teardrop shape or a ball shape on the hook. And I usually use a treble hook, size 14 treble hook, rather than a floating night crawler, and that works wonders. They just go for it. Over here, the color that they really attack is yellow. So if you got a yellow type of power bait dough, that works really well. Sometimes it works too well. Like sometimes I have a couple hours that I could just relax and fish. So what I do is I just I know I'll just catch them, and if whatever I catch them, I'll eat them because they typically swallow the hook. What I want to do is I have seen some small ones in there. They're like 8, 9, 10 inches, and you catch them, they're gonna die. You just gotta take them and eat them. But I don't like that, so what I end up doing is I get a jig head. It's a 1/16 ounce jig head, and either white or chartreuse. That works. And I put you can put anything in there, but I actually like those gulp minnows, and you can get different varieties. The white glow, there's like a shad, and there's also a smelt type of coloration. It really doesn't matter. You just cast it in and just jig it every once in a while. Don't sometimes just relax. You know, just try different types of pauses and patterns like that, and that catches a lot. And I'll actually, after this video, I caught maybe 10 more trout just because I just want to catch them. But I sent it back, but I couldn't really film it because my camera ran out of batteries. But next time I'm just gonna bring extra batteries. Here we go. Wow, that was quick. And a good size one too. First cast. Little one. Alright, so I'm at the Pawnee Park West, and I'm just using a 132 or 116 jig head. Actually, it's a light one. I think it's 1/16 jig head with a Lookingglass power bait. I caught them pretty quick, 2 already, first 2 casts, so I don't think I need a rush fishing for today. I'll take things a little bit easier. Oh, looks like I got one. This one was on the Carolina rig, and this was the last one where I used the Carolina rig. Everything else was on that jig head. It's no key size. I'll take it. Might be a little too easy. Okay, except for that one. Now this is all jig head stuff. Whoa, it's a feisty little one. There goes my little one. Don't worry, buddy. Okay. Almost got him in the eye. Trying to get a little bit bigger sized one. Oh, you're a feisty one. I think this one's a decent size for dinner. Little ones over here. Hey, little one. No. Hey, ow, wow. Careful, buddy. Ooh, that is gonna catch something. Ooh, yeah. What did I tell you? You are lucky, big fella. You are a lucky one, because I am letting you go. Oh, got you in the eye. I'm sorry about that. Oh. Hey. There you go. Whew. That one's going to survive good. All right, so that was that. That was all the videos that I had set up, and it was Pawnee Park West in Columbus. It's pretty fun actually. I'm starting to get better at using jig heads. I was reading the water, and that's why that last one I just knew I was going to catch one. If you read the water right, and you just kind of see some of the swirls or some of the jumps out of the water, and you're like, okay, if I just cast a little bit out there, a little bit, and you just know that's the spot where there's trout. And then once the trout's there, all you have to do is have the right presentation, and they're gonna go for it. And I see a lot of people having trouble catching trout, because the thing is with Nebraska, I see a lot of people catching different types of fish. They like the catfish particularly. A couple of them go for crappie and bluegill, and it's pretty much the same concept. And largemouth as well. It's pretty much the same concept, really. It's really simple. You can use jig heads. Just the thing is, their mouths aren't as big as like the largemouth. Think of them as kind of try going after crappie. It's almost the same concept, and near kind of like the middle top, because the trout are typically looking up for their food. They're not really looking down. Crappies, of course, will kind of look down, so you have to be kind of a little bit deeper. Just keep it shallower, and the yellow color, greenish or yellow greenish chartreuse, those are good colors to use. If you're gonna, I also used a lure, and those work great. I think it's silver. I always say silver sunny, clouded gold. So if it's cloudy out there, use a gold lure. If it's sunny, use a silver one, silverish colored one. And I was using that a silver colored one after my GoPro stopped working because of the batteries running out of juice, and I was catching them easy. And the thing is, you don't have to jig using those. What was it? I think it. What's it? Gosh, I wish I had my. I could probably bring over my fishing kit, but it's just the. I can't remember. It's just one of those really simple lures, and you don't. All you have to do is cast and just retrieve. Just retrieve. I do pause about every 4 seconds for about 1 or 2 seconds, and then I retrieve slow, and then pause 2 seconds, retrieve. Sometimes I do 1 second, and it's usually so when you just pause, you're not lifting the rod up, you're just pausing, and the lure just kind of spins a little bit, kind of like a fish, and then when you're retrieving it, it moves. So usually the trout or any fish really will attack it once you have that pause and you start going, and you'll feel the bite, and you just go psh. It's great. So next time when I'm gonna fish for trout, I think for my family, 5 trout is actually perfect. My son doesn't eat as much. My daughter eats like 2 or 3 trout by herself. My wife eats about 1, I eat about 1, and any leftovers go to the dog. My son doesn't seem to like the trout, so we may try different types of fish for him, see if he likes it, or maybe have it where it's just a different method of preparation. That's it. No one joined. That's it for my fishing videos. I would love to do more fishing videos. Go out to different areas. Go out to different states. Go out to different lakes, ponds, rivers, streams, what have you. Go saltwater fishing. I'm visiting my brother and my mother sometime in November, so you'll see me up in Washington State fishing maybe a day or two. See if they. I mean, I catch a lot there. Interestingly enough, the trout over there, they don't really like the yellow and the chartreuse or the green color. They only seem to bite on red and orange. I don't know why. Red, orange, or pink. I don't know why. Something with what they're feeding them or something. I don't know. But yeah, every trout area that I fished in over in Washington State, they weren't taking any of the yellow or chartreuse or the green. They're just taking the red, pink, or orange. All right, I might do a video later tonight. I might